The views and opinions expressed on Unlock Your Wealth Radio are those of the host, guests, and callers only and are not necessarily the views of Unlock Your Wealth Radio, Heather Wagenhals, or Success Publishing International.
Worried about retirement? Want to travel the world or just be around to watch your kids grow up, but you can't because you're drowning in debt? Now you can! With Heather Wagenhals and the Keys to Riches powered by Unlock Your Wealth Radio. Heather will show you how to stop chasing your wallet, eliminate debt, lose financial stress, and live the life of your dreams. If you truly ever wanted to have more, do more, be and give back more, now's your chance. Listen weekly to hear what others are doing to manage their money better with these proven strategies for building wealth with the Keys to Riches financial philosophy. Now, here's your host, Heather Wagenhals.
Welcome, everybody, to Keys to Riches Radio, powered by Unlock Your Wealth Radio. This segment is sponsored by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download at keystoriches.com/free book and click on the link to over 150,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. Welcome, everybody, to Keys to Riches Radio, powered by Unlock Your Wealth Radio. I am your purveyor of prosperity, Heather Wagenhals. I am flanked by the maestro of moolah, Michael Terry.
Hey, folks.
And we also have the Prince of Investing, my nephew, Mr. 12% annual returns here. Justin is in the house.
Woo!
Come on, say hi.
Hi.
He's our associate producer for the day.
You can hear him.
And we are going to help you get your money mind right on today's show with the following great features. So we have a teaser for our moolah word of the day. And it's a teaser.
Okay. It's a hint.
It's a teaser. That's what it's called. That's the word. It's a teaser. So what is this week's key, by the way?
Remember real estate.
Yes. So we are on key 10 in our Keys to Riches financial philosophy. And so that means we only have 3 more after this show before we start all over again. This key is so powerful because this is where the rubber meets the road. This is where all of the investment and budget, or specifically breaking the budget, and savings and spending plans and the good money management habits that we've been developing and evolving over this season, this is where we're going to be able to deploy them because we're going to learn about real estate as an investment. In my opinion, it is one of the most amazing tools for investing ever on the planet because it's real estate. The real estate is an investment that somebody else pays for. So, like, how cool is that?
Yeah.
You assume the risk, but somebody else pays off your investment. I think it's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Incredibly awesome.
Yeah. So, and I love collateralized investing because if the people stop paying, guess what? You get to take the property back. Yeah. It's so awesome. So that's why I like car lending too, because you could take it back. Can I get a repo? So yeah, you just repo, you're foreclosed. And so as an investor, it's a really great tool for building wealth because you now have something protecting your investment. You're not just hanging out there. Will this go up or will this be worth anything? What happens if somebody stops paying, yada, yada. That's why I like collateralized investing. So it makes me very happy as a collateralized investor. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about specifically how to measure how close to or far away from real estate investing you are. And we're going to learn our affordability ratio. If you'd like to download the worksheet, all you have to do is visit our website at keystoriches.com and in the search bar, type in real estate affordability worksheet. And you'll be able to calculate it because when we were creating our tiered savings and spending plan, when we learned our 3-5 financial strategy, do you remember that from what key is that? Quiz.
Oh dear.
Quiz. Whiz. All.
Oh dear.
Knowledge is.
He's going to get it before me. I'm sitting here going,
Way to go, Justin.
what are you doing?
I'm trying to say it's key 4, knowledge is power.
Well, I know that now.
That's where we learn our 3-5 financial strategy. Our financial 5.
So is that 11, 12, or 13? Is it 11 or 12?
It would be 4.
4. Knowledge is power. 4.
We already did it this season, and for the 14 others that we've done.
14. Wait a minute. There's only 11.
But there's 4 seasons a year.
Right.
And you've been on the clock since 2013, in case you weren't paying attention.
Well, obviously, I haven't.
Clearly. So I'd like to, so in lieu of doing a moneyism and a money drama, I actually would like to take this moolah word and use it as an opportunity to speak because it's directly related to this week's key. And I'd like to give some folks who haven't heard this level of insight, perhaps, about what caused or precipitated the crash of 2008. Yeah, so I have a different perspective, and it was so exciting to me. As a matter of fact, last year when I was on the plane on the way to watch his dad retire from the Army, as a matter of fact, I was sitting next to this guy who was some mucky muck, had his own like investment radio show or whatever, but it had to do with something with the Federal Reserve. I feel like he was a Federal Reserve guy. I forget how we got talking about the crash, but we're in Arizona, and so the real estate market really went out the window here first, and kind of it started really moving all the way across the country. And we were talking about it because I said, what is your take? And he told me from his perspective. And I said, how did you not see it coming? And he said, well, this is what I was looking at as indicators. And I said, well, here's what I was looking at as indicators. And part of it has to do with my biology-based approach to money management. And I said, first off, we had some actual economic lag indicators that were showing what the challenges were in the marketplace. And then the types of loans that were being done, and not just the types of loans, but the way that underwriters were qualifying these people had everything to do with this, and why these particular loans with this particular economic environment, it wasn't sustainable. Okay. And so it was really great because he thought that my insight, because I told him, I said, I called it on my radio show in 2003. And so when the crash started in 2007, when the market crashed and then the repercussions started, it was like, I was like, holy smokes, my crystal ball works. I got to polish this thing up. I was about ready to throw it out, thinking, I missed the market. And sure enough, there it came. So it was really interesting. And he was blown away by the insight that I was able to glean from my side of the fence, actively working in mortgages and real estate at the time. So let's talk about that moolah. Let's do the moolah word. So our moolah word of the day is teaser loan. Have you ever heard of a teaser loan?
No, I never have.
Wow. Okay. So it's most of the time it's not referred to as a teaser loan. It's referred to as a teaser rate, referring to the interest rate. And essentially what it is it's an adjustable rate loan that offers the borrower low initial payments for the first number of years. And then it increases the payment amounts after the introductory period. I do not like this definition, so I'm from investorwords.com. I'm actually editing it on the fly because it's got some strong languaging that's biased. So we need to call it as it is, not like people want to point fingers retroactively because they weren't smart enough to call the market. So, and it says here, and it's got a spelling error, which I think is really funny too. But it says adjustable rate mortgages, a type of teaser loan, have been accused of contributing to the U.S. housing collapse of 2008. It wasn't the loan that did it. It's not, and it's just like the gun doesn't kill people. Okay, the loan didn't cause this. The people that did inappropriate things with inappropriate lenders are what caused this, the crash. Okay, because behavior is consistent. it's repetitive, it's habitual, and this is what we know. People don't do what they say, they just do what they do.
Yep.
And that's why changing a habit is so hard. And so I'll explain why, because I think that this is just an amazing opportunity to discuss this. And it was so crazy because it came up as one of the dictionary.com or the investorwords.com word of the day. So the adjustable rate loan, this is how they have it. They said that it has low initial payments for the first several years. It may not be several.
Right?
No, well, there's different increments. There's different types of arms. So that's why I take issue with the word several. And then it says, and then increases the payments amount, but they've got this word dramatically after the introductory period. Most of them are tied to an interest rate that they could potentially rise, but they don't deliberately rise dramatically. Okay. But there are things that go into an adjustable rate loan. And I thought, since, this is the Remember Real Estate Key, this would be a great time to discuss this. And take this moment. So we're skipping our moneyism to be able to talk about this. So there's some moving parts, figuratively and literally, in an adjustable rate mortgage. So there's two types of loans. Or, well, I should say two types of amortizations. There are the adjustable rates, where the amortization changes, and there are fixed rates, where the amortization stays constant. Okay. And so in a fixed rate loan, you either get a 15 or 30-year fixed rate, and they amortize it over that many months. So if it's a 30-year fixed rate loan, they take and they calculate the annual interest by the number of payments. So it's by 360. So they calculate what that would be, and they divide it up to get your 12 monthly payments. Okay, so that's how it's calculated. So this amortizes over. Most loans that are fully amortized, meaning you're paying principal and interest, it's using the 7/8 method, so it's front loaded with the interest. So about 7/8 of your payment goes to interest and 1/8 goes to principal. And then over the life of the loan, on a fixed rate loan, the amount that gets paid to interest goes down and the amount that's applied to principal goes up if you paid every payment for 30 years. And so that's how it is. That's why it's so profitable. And you can save interest by making principal payments on your mortgage in the beginning part of your loan. And it doesn't have to be very much. Mm-hmm. If you added one extra payment a year, you can save 10 years worth of interest. It's that dramatic. And all you have to do that, people are like, well, I can't make an extra payment a month. You don't make it as the extra payment. Each month you add 1/12.
Right.
Of your payment.
That's one way
as a direct principal payment. Well, and by doing it that way, if you waited till the end of the year to make one lump sum payment, it's not reducing as much interest as if you made it each incrementally.
Every month.
The 1/12 every month. You actually whittle down the interest faster with the 1/12 every month, even though it's so much smaller.
Yeah.
Because it forces the amortization table to adjust after that principal payment. So it recalculates the interest each time. So even if it's only $20 or $50 or whatever that number is, if you have a $1,200 mortgage payment, it's an extra $100 a month, right? So an extra $3 a day. Okay. And so I can think of a million things that cost more than $3 that I could give up that people are habituated to, that you could figure out where to find that money to make that principal payment. Because as soon as you make, that $20, it changes the amortization table. So the next month you're paying less interest than you did this month. So more will automatically be applied to principal next month. And so on and so on and so on. And so you exponentially increase your effectiveness with less money.
Now, if I may interject, what I've been doing is I've been making a yearly payment, but I put the money in a brokerage account throughout the course of the year. So if the market does well, and if I'm making 6 or 7% on that money that I put into a brokerage account, am I ahead?
If your mortgage interest is less than the amount you're making.
Right, correct.
So as long as that's it, then you're doing good.
Yeah.
You're pretty savvy for a guy that likes to play. He's not savvy.
Musician, yeah.
Well, I didn't want to say that. For a composer, for a maestro.
My brother's taught me a lot. He really has.
That's awesome. So that's one thing. So that's how fixed rate mortgages work. So if you have an adjustable rate mortgage, they calculate it at whatever this teaser rate is. Mm-hmm. And so then that's what you pay for whatever the period is. It could be a 6-month adjustable. Like I'm on a LIBOR on one of my properties and it adjusts every 6 months. But the interest is so low that it doesn't. I'm willing to take that gamble because I'm also making principal payments too. So for less money, I can have more of an impact, on my interest. But when your interest is only 2 or 3%, I mean, it's insane. So that's why I just do a little bit on every month on the mortgage, because I'm technically while it'll end up being thousands of dollars on the back end, technically that interest is only 2 or 3%. So that's all I'm saving, where my money can be making me 12% extra somewhere else. It makes sense to not pay off my mortgage fast. It makes more sense to keep investing and pay a little bit so I can save maybe $100,000 on interest.
Sure.
But there's a couple of my properties that I don't intend on holding for a long period of time that I have an interest only mortgage. It was the only tool that was really available for me to that made sense at the time to qualify for the property, because I had just stacked on a couple other mortgages. So, because I had new credit lines, that always brings your score down. And so I was limited in the products, but I would have rather have bought the next investment property systematically by either paying cash for it and putting a note on it later, which I couldn't because of the price of the home. And because and it was quicker than I usually do it. I usually try to wait 6 months to a year before I acquire another property, so my credit has the highest possible score. Because once you're in a piece of credit, a credit extension for at least 12 months to 24 months, then your score pops back up. And so it's not that for any other reason other than it's new credit, 15% of your score, and then again, 35% of your score is open and available. So if I take out a mortgage for $100,000 or $200,000 and I've only made one payment, so I have $50 of equity between my balance and my original loan, I have very little wiggle room, but once I can make a year's worth of principal payments, and my loan was $100,000 or $200,000 and I've made, $20,000 in principal payments. Now I've got some distance. So now that part of my score comes back also, so it's a strategy. You can't just go willy-nilly buying things. So you really have to work at the strategery of it. In the words of President Bush, you got to be strategic about it. And so I bought that one on a fixed rate loan, but I went interest only, so I'd have the lowest possible payment because I'm like, I have a tenant. I'm not really paying that loan anyway, and I may not keep this property forever. Yeah. So I don't care if I'm making a big dent in the principal. I've got a low monthly payment, and that means I can keep more cash so that I can funnel to other investments. Sure. So it's all a part of the strategy. So the loans aren't bad. What happened in the mortgage crisis, and when you approve somebody with an adjustable rate loan, especially if they can go into the negative amortization, meaning the amount of your monthly payment is lower than the actual interest that's accruing every month. So that means your mortgage balance is going up. they're supposed to approve you over the start rate, and it can be 1 to 2 points. It depends on what your first initial adjustment cap is. So if you have good credit, your first rate adjustment can't be usually more than 2%. But some of these subprime loans that were adjustable rate mortgages could go up to their lifetime cap if people had crappy credit or went low or no documentation or zero money down. You know, that's where they got into all this creative financing. And if you remember the layers of risk we talked about last week, they layered the risk in such a way that these people had to take a non-conforming loan. And so therefore, they could have a 6% rate increase in their first adjustment or potentially a lifetime increase in the first adjustment of 12%. So if you've been used to paying a mortgage payment at 2% and now you have to pay it at 8%, how much more is your payment going up? Yeah. It's like fourfold, right? And if somebody qualifies you at that start rate of 2% instead of at least 4% to determine your affordability, that's why people got in trouble, because they bought too much home because money was cheap, and everybody thought the market and the real estate was going to go up and that rates were going to go down and stay down, and that's not what happened. So there was a glut of properties on the market, was one thing. But here's what we got. So we had an artificial adjustment in price here in Arizona. And we had an influx of investor money coming from California. And even though a $100,000 condo was selling for $150,000 because people were willing to pay for it, they weren't worth $150,000 here. But considering that same condo in California would have been $300,000 to an investor from California used to California prices, they think $150,000 is a steal, not realizing what they're doing to the market, not realizing how they're destroying the market.
Yeah.
And so it's so great because I had this argument with my friend who was trying to buy a property here for business, and I told him, and he's like, well, he wanted me to write the transaction, and I said, I don't think you should offer that. And he goes, well, he says, well, they're asking this. And I said, but I can tell you it's not going to appraise for that. It's not worth that. And it was a luxury property. And luxury properties were the first ones to tank. At the time when the market was good, we would have 2 to 4 luxury properties, meaning priced over $1 million or more, sell a year. And we had a 50-year inventory before the market took a crap. Then we had a glut, because they were all like second homes. That's the first thing that people do is they ditch investment properties and second homes. Right. If they're not paying. They're not going to carry the dead weight. So anyway, to circle back to the conversation, the reason why we had the crisis that we had is median home price. The first thing that happened is median home price in its relationship to median income got out of whack. When you go over that 1, which would be 100%, it was over 1. So the median home price was 1.5 to 2 times the median income. Wow. Your market is not sustainable. It's not a true value appreciation. There were market forces that determined it. It was a shortage of inventory and all this investment money, 1031 exchange money. So they have to hurry up and buy no matter what. And greedy realtors were like, oh, well, what do I care? I mean, I would get stupid offers where it says, and we'll pay $500 more than the highest offer. So if I was not an honest, ethical realtor, I could write out an offer. I could call my friend. I could be like, hey, Michael, can you send me an offer for $1 million? Because I'm going to accept this offer. And then I'm going to tell them that the next best offer was $1 million. Are you going to pay $1 million, $500 for a $100,000 condo? I don't think so. I mean, you don't know how many.
What's happening though?
Well, yeah. I mean, not that egregious, but everybody was greedy, and so everybody was like grabbing for cash, not realizing that it wasn't a sustainable marketplace, and you couple that with all the other factors that were involved, and it got pretty crazy.
Yeah.
You are listening to Keys to Riches Radio, powered by Unlock Your Wealth Radio. This segment is sponsored in part by KeepMyID.org, the only service that actually prevents identity theft. All others are just monitoring services. Put your credit on lockdown for Keys to Riches Radio listeners by visiting our website at keystoriches.com/keepmyid and click on the link to start protecting your financial future right now. Remember to use the promo code WAGS. So let's talk about affordability, shall we, for a moment, since that's this week's key. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, welcome to the Keys to Riches, powered by Unlock Your Wealth Radio. The Keys to Riches is a financial philosophy that teaches you how to think like the rich and be in control of your own money. It also gives you specific techniques to create or fix your credit, eliminate debt, save and invest, transforming your current financial habits into healthy money management skills. And we do this 1 week at a time, one key at a time. And in our Remember Real Estate key, this is about leveraging ourselves. And so the way we leverage ourselves successfully with investment, and the reason why I like this is because of the power that leverage holds for us. Systematic leverage, buying investment stuff. I'm not talking about going to the mall and leveraging a pair of Ferragamos because you like those type of loafers, and then paying the monthly minimum payment on those ad infinitum at your 29% interest rate credit card. I'm talking about building wealth systematically over time, and specifically having other people build your wealth. Because when you collect rents on a property, then you are essentially having somebody else build your wealth. All you had to do was take the risk of the initial investment. And that's pretty awesome. Also, you exponentially increase your returns. If you put $1 into the stock market, it's going to earn interest at the rate of $1. And if a company goes belly up and you have a security in the form of a stock versus a bond, shareholders are the last people to get paid out. The bondholders, meaning the people that lent the company money, are the ones that actually get liquidation damages. Or at least they're the first ones to get liquidated. As a shareholder, you're SOL. So as they dismantle the company and sell it off or whatever they do to it, you'll be the odd man out likely if there's not enough money to go around. So, but with real estate, you put $1 invested in real estate and you match it with the money of somebody else for a fee. You now can take $1 in real estate and leverage it with 9 more. And now you're earning at a rate of $10 invested when you only put up 1 or 2.
Right.
And so that's what makes real estate so awesome, because you immediately get into double-digit returns, because it's not like, and everybody focuses on cap rate. And I think that's the stupidest thing to focus on as an investor. And all cap rate is it's the description in a ratio of the income of the property relative to its price. So you can have a 6% cap rate, a 9% cap rate. That tells you how much, that tells you the relationship of the price and the income on the property. That does not tell you what your return is. Okay.
Right.
And just so we can understand the math, I'm going to do the math real simple. So if I buy a property for $100 and I put down 10, and I average, let's say 1% amount, 12% a year. So I just made $12 on 100, but it only cost me 10. So my relationship on my return on the investment is not 12 to 100, it's 12 to 10. Mm-hmm. It's called the cash on cash number. And so now I don't have a 12% return. I have annually on $100,000, I have a 12% return based on $10. So I have an enormous return on my investment, all while accepting that risk. So we are out of time. So if you want to learn how to use the affordability ratio, it's a step-by-step worksheet that tells you how close to or far away from you are from beginning real estate investment. And if you take the Keys to Riches video course, then you will learn specifically how to calculate this step-by-step with me guiding you in a fabulous video and you and your worksheet. And guess what? That's all for free at our website at keystoriches.com. So just just stop by and look for the affordability worksheet. And if it doesn't make sense, sign up and take the Keys to Riches video course. It's no charge. With my compliments, please indulge yourself and learn how to manage your money more effectively so you can get your money mind right so your wealth and happiness will follow. For the Keys to Riches powered by Unlock Your Wealth Radio and the maestro of Moolah, Michael Terry, I'm Heather Wagenhals. Now go out and unlock your wealth today.
UnlockYourWealthRadio.com is produced by Heather Wagenhals and the Unlock Your Wealth Foundation. UnlockYourWealthRadio.com and its affiliates are copyrighted 2016 with all rights reserved. For more information on the Keys to Riches Financial Wellness Series, please visit our website at www.unlockyourwealth.com.